Everyone, it's 2 minutes after 2 and we have a lot of attendees who have already joined. So let's start today's webinar on Bookstore Day exclusives on IndieCommerce and IndieLite platforms. So I'm Geeta Nathan, the IndieCommerce Senior Manager. Today's webinar will be presented by Courtney Karecki from the IndieCommerce support team. She's an IndieCommerce support specialist, and Samantha Shea, Program Director of the Independent Bookstore Day. And before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. All attendees are in listen-only mode, and this webinar is being recorded. So on your GoToWebinar panel, there is a pane where you can see a small hand icon. So if you can hear me and see Courtney's screen, can you just raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. That was fast. Thanks. And so you are listening in using your computer's speaker system by default. If you prefer to join via phone, just select the telephone in the audio pane and the dial-in option will be displayed. Now you can submit questions during the presentation by typing your questions into the question pane of your GoToWebinar panel. We'll address all the questions at the end of the presentation. And I will now hand it over to Courtney. Courtney, take it away.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be covering Independent Bookstore Day items and how you'll be able to put those items on your IndieCommerce and IndieLite site. Joining me today is also Samantha Shea, the Program Director for Indie Bookstore Day, and she'll be covering a few things as well. So there we go. So again, we're going to cover how to add these items to your site, what that will look like as a finished product, and how this differs a little bit from IBD of previous years. We'll cover some resources and other materials that are available at indiebookstoreday.com, such as graphics, idea documents, and other information. And then from there, we'll actually move into a demonstration of adding these items to a book list, as well as creating custom products on IndieCommerce, as well as the workaround we created for IndieLite sites, since custom products are exclusively for IndieCommerce sites. And then we'll create a block to promote the event to your front page so that customers can easily find these products. So first things first, I'm actually going to just show you what an IndieCommerce and an IndieLite site will look like with all these items added. So IndieCommerce first, we have just some sample text about the event. And we've added most of these items to our book data system. So you'll be able to pull them into a book list by their ISBN, in some cases an EAN. Other items exclusively need to be created as custom products. So simple book list, hopping over to IndieLite, same situation. And again, some of these items will have availability that might say back ordered or hard to find. It's pulling directly from our book data system, and these will be corrected in time for the 29th. And as you can see up at the top, we've actually added some items to the body of the page, and we'll get to that later. So again, there are a few exceptions to the way we've approached IBD this year. Otherwise, most of the items, again, can just be pulled in the same way you would pull in any other book into a book list. And we went with this method specifically to address the hardships that our membership faces this year due to the pandemic. Everyone's situation is a little different. Some stores can't open at full capacity, some can't open at all. And in order to help everyone have an online platform, we wanted to make this as accessible and as easy as possible. These items also cannot be sent to Ingram for fulfillment and are not available from Ingram, and they won't be able to be sold any earlier than August 29th. And Samantha, you can speak to those two items specifically in more detail. I'm actually going to hand it over to Samantha to cover some of the resources and assets that are available at indiebookstoreday.com.
Thank you, Courtney, very much. I am just, there we go. Can you see my screen? It's the Independent Bookstore Day homepage.
No, not yet.
Okay.
You might have to hit show screen.
Yeah, I just did. There we go. Oy, oy, oy. I'm sorry for this delay. I thought I had it down. Change presenter. Just quickly, Geeta, I'm not listed as a presenter over here, so maybe that's part of the issue.
Okay, let me check something quickly.
There we go, I see it.
Okay. It looks
Yep.
like it's up now. Okay, great. So this is the homepage of IndieBookstoreDay.com. As you can see, we have put easy buttons for all of the online author events throughout the day. So if you don't want to recreate this on your site, but you want to steer your customers towards these events, you can steer them towards our homepage, and you just click on these buttons when you want to join. As you can see here, want to buy books by the featured authors, visit or contact your favorite indie bookstore. So some of these authors that are featured have IBD exclusives this year, like Jean Yang and Renee Watson and Amor Tolles, and some of them don't. So if you wanted to create a sales page with all of these authors and just their regular backlist, that could be a good idea too, if you are indeed steering your customers towards these events. The main page for you guys is up here for the trade. So this is where you can find all the graphics that you need. Down here, these are all over here. These are all the downloadable logos. We have a lot of different colored logos to choose from. Some of them have the date, some of them don't have the date. This is a bunch of over here, a bunch of information, including the IndieCommerce and IBD instructions that Geeta and Courtney created. So this offers step-by-step instructions. There's also some party ideas because of shelter in place, and everybody's at a different stage of being open completely or not open at all. We wanted to just kind of spark some ideas for how to celebrate in this strange time. We've created an online scavenger hunt if you want to use that, if you're closed completely but you want to offer some activities. This is general social media best practices. We will be relying on social media more than ever this year because that's where people get their information right now. And then over here down at the bottom, if you click here, you will get high resolution images of all of the exclusives, which you should be able to just drag and drop or download onto your computer. And you can publicize them at any time. Up here, you can see there is Instagram posts with the date. These are just general posts. There's a Facebook banner with the new date if you want to use that, and a web banner if you want to put it on your website. We've created that. This down here is for stores that are not open and just celebrating online. It's all of what I just pointed to, except it says online only instead of in-store and online. These are just down here more social media pieces that you can use at any time. This is our newsletter. Up in the top left is just sign up for our newsletter. Every participating bookstore should be signed up. This is the main way that we communicate with our stores. So any information that you need to make this happen is sent via our newsletter. Whoops. So now I can't get back. So just make sure you all should be signed up. You all should be signed up already, but in case you're not, or if there's somebody else that you think should be signed up, please do so. I'm not sure what else I need to point out to you at this time, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that you can start displaying either in your store or online any of the exclusives at any time. And again, we have pictures of all that, and start publicizing now. We will have information going out about an online Twitter event to promote Bookstore Day, and the more bookstores involved in that, the better. And we'll have some big name authors included in that as well. And it's just basically a chit chat session over Twitter, talking up Bookstore Day and what we're looking forward to. So please look out for more details on that. And I'm going to let Courtney take it back now, and please send questions in the chat for me if you have any.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for going through that, Samantha. I didn't know that there was like that much extensive stuff on the site. So that's a good resource for everyone. Before we jump into our demonstration portion, could everyone who's from an IndieCommerce site on a computer just click the hand icon? We just want to see how many people are coming from what platform. And I'll just give you a minute to go through that.
Courtney, I think that should be fine. We have enough participants using both platforms.
So some of the topics that we are going to cover in our demonstration may feel a little bit familiar or even well practiced, depending on just how experienced you are with either platform. But we specifically wanted to address how these apply to Indie Bookstore Day this year. So our first step is going to be creating our book list. And once you're logged into your site, you can head to Content, Add Content, and then Page. You can also use a book page if you prefer. There's very few differences between the two. You'll enter your title, body, and any important information about virtual or in-person happenings attached to the event. And then below that is your section where you can add your books. So you can enter your first ISBN into the text field, click out of it, and that will automatically populate the product information since it will pull from our book data system. You can repeat that until you have all the items you need. And since these will, okay, so once you've created all of that, under publishing options, you can choose to not have these items published since they will be immediately available for customers to place orders on them. So we may have to come up with a slightly different way to promote the event and the items on your site without necessarily letting customers place orders for them. And then once you've added all of your pertinent information, you can just click save and you've created your book list. So to demonstrate, I have a page that already has some sample text for the event, and we're just going to go edit. And the sample sites I'm using today will be made available in the resources from this session. So if you want to use any of the text we've created, please feel free. As you can see, I already have one item. We're just going to drop that, and voila. And you can do this as many times as you need to, depending on which products you'll have available. But otherwise, it's fairly straightforward and functions in the same way as it would for any other situation where you want to add a book to a page. And there we go. Now, again, for some products specifically, IndieCommerce sites will have to create custom products. Those two items specifically are the signed copy of Ways to Make Sunshine by Renee Watson and the Black Panther print by Nick Stone. To do this, you'll first want to create a custom product class by going to Store, Product, Manage Product Classes. Once you've created that, that will show up as a content option when you go to add content. And again, it will be a blank page. You'll enter your title, product information, upload an image, and create your SKU. When creating your SKU, it's very important to use lowercase letters to prevent any conflicts that might occur. Again, depending on whether or not you want customers to be able to place these items in their cart, you may want to unpublish the product. You'll save it, and then you can take the SKU from that page and add it to the book list we just created. So hopping back to IndieCommerce, we'll go to Store, Products, Manage Classes. And down here we have the fields to add a class. So we can just do Indie Bookstore Day for your class ID. And the class name is what will come up when you want to create a product of that type. So we can just do Indie Bookstore Day 2020. Description is optional. It's just something to help you further differentiate it from other classes you have. Go to save. And once that finishes, we will be able to go to Content, Add Content, Indie Bookstore Day 2020, and go through and just add the product information. All of the product information, by the way, is available on Edelweiss. There is a catalog exclusively for Indie Bookstore Day. So whenever you're creating your custom products, you'll be able to go to Content, and all of your pricing and other information is there as well. That is not the page. Next, we'll add an image. In this case, there is actually a different cover for the signed edition this year. So we'll just go ahead and upload that. Automatically appears. Now for the SKU, in this situation, I'm going to just use IBD, and I'll take the ISBN for the book. You can do whatever SKU you'd like. It's totally up to you, however you want to differentiate the product, whatever works for you. And then that is $16.99. And then we just put the sell price here. And you can also include any weight or size information about the product as well. So go ahead and hit save. And
Courtney,
you have, yes,
while you're on this page, there are a couple of questions about how to unpublish your content. Could you just show them on this product, how to unpublish it, the difference between published and unpublished?
absolutely. So for any content type, there is a pane on the left, all the way at the bottom, that says publishing options. And in this particular instance, you'll just want to uncheck published, hit save. And the way you can tell something is unpublished, it'll have a slightly pink hue to it. Geetha, correct me if I'm wrong, but depending on the theme, it might also display unpublished somewhere. Seen that or no?
No, I think I've usually seen it, the pink hue behind it. I think that is the clue that it is an unpublished item.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Okay, so, and that's how you would unpublish an item. And when you want to make that item available, you just go back into publishing options, published, save.
And
so
also a quick note about the ISBN, if it's a custom product, yes, if you're using a 978, just add something like an IBD before it. We generally don't recommend a 978 ISBN for custom products because sometimes there might be a conflict with, because 978 is a regular ISBN and there can be a conflict if we get the same product in our database in the future day.
Right, and that's, so then if you don't want to use the ISBN, you can, do you even need letters or can you just, as long as it's not a 13-digit number?
Yeah, they can just, I think the best thing would be just to use IBD because that would be easy for them to pull it up later and to filter it.
Okay. Okay. So from here, we're going to take the SKU and head back to the book page we created earlier. Go to edit. And the SKU acts the same as any other ISBN as long as it's a valid SKU. And it will pull in your custom product information. Hit save. And now that item is also available on your book list. So for IndieLite sites, there's a slightly different approach since, again, custom products are not an option. So one recommendation we've come up with is to add the image title and image and other information to the body of the book list, as well as a small reminder for customers to call or email the store for those items specifically, since they're unable to add them to their cart. So to do this, you can just head to the book list you created, go to edit, and to upload the image, there is an image icon in the toolbar of your editor. We'll click this. This will bring up the image properties pane. Go to browse server. This will bring you to all of the images that are available to use on your site. In this instance, we'll want to upload the image. So we'll browse for it locally and open, upload it. And the image that we just uploaded is automatically highlighted. So we'll just click Insert File. And you'll want to scale these images or adjust their size in order to save not only space, but loading time on the page, since the larger the image, the longer the loading time can be, excuse me. So I'm just going to drop this down to 200. And if your aspect ratio is locked, your height will automatically adjust to keep the image shape. So we're going to click OK. It drops the image into the editor. And from here, we can just take the title, author, price, format it however you want, and we'll do the same thing for the print as well. We'll upload the image.
And for those who have a tool where you can resize the images on your computer, I think that is recommended. So when you upload the images, they are already resized, and that would help too. Yes.
Yeah, that'll definitely save a step. So we'll insert this file quickly.
And it'll also help with having the images responsive and mobile friendly on your site.
Yes. That's okay, so now you've added your quote unquote custom products to your IndieLite site. You can go ahead and save. And now customers will also see that these items are available for Independent Bookstore Day. So now that you've created your book page, you want to make sure customers can find it and you want to promote the event. One of our recommendations is creating a block for your front page with a graphic and some teaser text. So if you want a IBD branded graphic, you can head to the page that Samantha showed earlier, and there's a bunch of different logos and options to choose from. So once you have your graphic on your site, you can head to structure, blocks, and then add block. And there's a few different fields you'll need to enter information in, such as your title, your block description, your body, which is where your graphic will go as well. Again, you may need to scale the image, and it might be easier to do that before uploading it to your site. And then you can link your book list to that image, as well as any text you put in the block, so that anyone, regardless of device, will be able to just click on the image or the text and go straight to your book page. So, and these steps are the same for IndieCommerce and IndieLite. So I'm going to do this on an IndieLite site. We'll go to structure, blocks, add block. Your block title, although it's optional, it may display text automatically. So if you want this to remain blank, you can just put none between two pointed brackets. Your block description is the title of your block as it appears on the extensive list of all blocks available for your site. So you want to be able to easily identify what this block is. So you can just name it Indie Bookstore Day or anything that will be easy to spot and remember. So again, we're going to have to upload the image in this case. So image, browse server, upload, browse for it locally. I'm just going to grab one of the logos, upload, then insert file. We'll adjust the size. Now, before we go anywhere else, we're going to want to go to the link tab. And this will let us drop the URL of the book list that we created. And attach it to the image. So you can click OK. And you can format this block however you'd like. I'm personally going to center the image. And we can just do some teaser text such as I just chose something very simple, but again, that text can be anything you'd like. There are some formatting and font choices to choose from in the editor as well. So you can customize that text however you'd like. And if you want to make this text a link as well, you'll just click the little chain up in the toolbar. It's usually the second row. And since it's an internal path, you don't have to use the entire URL, you just need the page path. Okay. And since we only want this block to appear on the front page, we'll adjust the visibility settings to only the listed pages, take out anything in here, and just put front between two pointed brackets, and then hit save. And by default, any block you create is disabled. So it's going to be at the bottom of the list in the disabled section. Here's our block right here. I'm just going to drop this into the content region for IndieLite. Save. And when we go back to our front page, it might be at the bottom. Yep, so here's the block we just created, and the text and the image both lead to the book list. We do have some time for questions. So
yeah, thank you, Courtney. That was very precise, and it covered, I think, everything that stores would need. We do have a whole bunch of questions, so I'm just going to go over these. And Samantha, some of these questions are for you, so we can just go through this. So the first one is from Mary Elizabeth. Will there be an option to add the items to a web calendar event, or is the functionality only for book lists? Mary Elizabeth, if you mean like if you want to add these items to an event, yes, book lists can be added to events also. Just like how Courtney showed it on a page, you can also add it to an event. Courtney, do you have any events set up on the site that you can add one of these items to it? We can set it up on the sample site before we send the link out. That can also work. Yes, Mary, that is correct. You can create an event and then add this. Again, it will be a book list, but it will be attached to that event. Okay, the next one from Amanda. Yes, I understand that some of you tried to add these last week, and you realized that you weren't able to get these products into your IndieCommerce site. We did add the products about a week or 10 days ago. Courtney added it, but some stores were starting to get orders from customers. So they wanted us to remove the items. So we had to make them inactive. I think that was the time when some of you tried and you could not see the products on your website. You could not pull it automatically like how the documentation had said. But today, as of today, we made it active. So now you can go ahead and then do everything that Courtney just did, and it should help you pull the products into your site. Okay, I think that got this out. So we can display the items now, just not sell them. Samantha, can you talk about what the restrictions are as far as when they can sell it? Samantha, I think you're muted. Go ahead.
Okay, there it goes. Yes, so all items go on sale August 29th, the same as they would if we were just doing in-store. Again, you can start promoting them in any way you want at any time, starting as soon as you get them, via digitally, whenever. And we ask that you do not discount any products until 1 month after the event. So if you end up with leftover stock and you want to put it for sale on a discount, please wait until the end of September to do that, or October 1st, ideally. What other restrictions? Aside from not being able to sell them until August 29th and not being able to put them on sale until September 29th or October 1st, we ask that nobody list anything on third-party websites, obviously, and that all orders, you'll have to fulfill them from your in-store stock. So if you ordered 2 copies of something, that's the number you'll be able to sell. Ingram has no inventory to fulfill these orders, so they have to be fulfilled by your store. I think that's it.
Thanks, Samantha. And related to that same question and topic, for IndieCommerce stores, you have 2 options. Like, you can create the pages and add the books to it as a book list. If you are uploading your local store inventory, and if these ISBNs are included in it, close to August 29th, like on 28th, if you can include these items into your LSI files, then they will appear on your site as in stock. And until then, you can choose. We also have another feature called not for sale. So let's say you create your pages today, and these items are going to appear on the pages. And by promoting them, customers may be able to put them in a shopping cart and place an orders for it. So you can do what's called the not for sale feature, where you can just upload a file with all these ISBNs into your site, and that will make these items not purchasable by the customers. They can still see it, but they won't be able to see the add to cart button to purchase it. Okay, it may not be a very elegant solution, but at least that gets the job done. Like, you can promote it now, not allow customers to buy it, and then on 28th, you can upload your inventory and customers will see how many you have in stock. And Courtney can share that information with you about how to use the not for sale files and also about uploading the LSI.
Yes.
And next one, is there a way we can copy the online event button on the IBD page and use on our own sites? So Samantha, the online event button is there. So if stores can get the images of those buttons and there is a link to it, does the button come with a link where they can point it to the IBD page?
No, unfortunately, because our site is built, we use Square, so our site is built differently.
Okay.
But if you go to the page that links to
Courtney, do you want to make Samantha the presenter so she can
Sure.
share the screen?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so sorry, I'm just looking for where this is. You know what? I don't think there's a link right this second for all of those, but I'll put it up right as soon as we're done. But it will take you to, hold on. It will take you to a Google page. It'll take you directly there. August 29th, links and art. So this lists the events, descriptions if you want to copy them. Over here, these are the different Zoom links. And then over here, this connects you straight to the art over here. And so it would take you here, and all of those buttons along with social media images for those virtual events are available for you to use. So you would have to link the Zoom link to the button on your website yourself. And the reason we can't create a linkable button is because people use different different formats, but here you go.
Yep.
So these are all of the different buttons and all of the different social media. So you would download the button, and then you would take the link and you'd click, and which is all we did. We built this by hand. And then you'd build it like that.
That is perfect. I think that is possible on an IndieCommerce site, as long as they can download the image and they know what the link is. It should be able. Yeah, they can.
So
do
all
that.
these exact images are available, and you just need to connect them to the correct Zoom link.
Okay. And Courtney can probably add a couple of those buttons into our sample site and include those instructions too before we send it out. Okay. There are a couple of questions about Edelweiss or IBD books list available on Edelweiss collections. Samantha?
There's a catalog. Indie Bookstore Day 2020 is the name of the catalog, and all of the items are there along with descriptions.
Got it. Thank you. And I think the link for the IBD catalog is also in the PDF that will be shared after this presentation.
The other thing is, if you want information about these items and you want to copy and paste the descriptions, again, you just go to For the Trade up there, and the catalog is right there. The bottom, you just click on that image on the bottom right, it'll open up the catalog, and you can copy and paste, ISBNs and descriptions and things like that.
Yeah. And Samantha, can you show quickly how members can get to the Google Doc?
Yeah, I will. So it's gone out in the last 2 newsletters, the link to it, but I'm going to put a link right at the top of the page here that says link to information about virtual, and will be the spreadsheet that looks on Google Docs, which will show the event, the time, the description, the Zoom link, and the art. And so you'll just go there and you can copy the various links that you need. You can go to that page, this page, which is the social media collateral, download any of the images, and that should be all the information you need. Again, I will put this on the For the Trade page as soon as we get off the phone.
Okay, and one more question for you, Samantha. Is it too late to order the exclusive IBD items?
So at this point, there are some leftovers at Ingram. And so if you want to order the items at this point, you need to contact your Ingram rep today, preferably, and place an order. So yes, some things are sold out, but there are extras of other things, and your rep will be able to tell you what's available and place that order for you. But again, do it, today or tomorrow. And if you need the catalog, again, it's at the bottom of the For the Trade page right here. If you want it, just, a reminder of what's available.
Okay, perfect. There are a couple of questions about the SKU for the custom products. Courtney had mentioned not to use uppercase, and there are questions about the restrictions. One is we recommend stores not to use regular ISBNs, of course, because we could get a product with the same ISBN at a future time, and it will cause conflicts. And about the uppercase, that decision was made a while ago because in the past, we used to have regular ISBNs with some uppercase characters in it. Right now, if it has an uppercase, it's just that it will not be searchable by SKU. So that is the main drawback in using uppercase letters in the SKU. It cannot be searched by SKU. And again, from my point of view, we are not sure how many customers actually search for items by SKU. But if that is not a concern for you, then I think you can give it a try. But that is the main thing. It cannot be searched by SKU. Okay. Next one is we just want to confirm customers can purchase their own IBD t-shirts from the website. So is this from the IBD bookstore website? Samantha, is there a way for customers to purchase
So
Okay.
I don't know if you still, so here's the home page again, and right here on the left is, is 2020 IBD t-shirts now available, and you just click on that, and it will take you to Bonfire, which is our third party, and it connects you to our store where you can buy masks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and the like. And those are always available. At this point, it is too late to get them by Bookstore Day. But customers, especially if they see people, your staff wearing them on Bookstore Day, usually ask. And so this is where they can get them. You're also welcome to link to this on your homepage if you'd like.
And we have a couple of questions about custom products. So when we add these custom products, will our website automatically deduct them as they are ordered? Or when we run out of items, our website shows that? Or will we need to monitor sales and remove them as we run out of an item? It depends. If it is a custom product, you can enable the stock module and then put the number of items in stock. And of course, if there are online sales, to answer your question, if there are online sales, it has to be done. Someone has to keep an eye on it manually, unless you are you have worked out with your POS system to export the order information into your POS on a regular basis. So because this information, online order information, has to go into your POS. In most cases, it'll have to be done manually. Then what else? Books popped up. Okay, there's another question. Books popped up on my site, but not the socks or bodysuit. Those SKUs were not valid. Again, if it is an IndieLite site, the custom products will not show up because IndieLite sites cannot sell custom products on it. But for IndieCommerce site, we suggest that you give it a try again, because these items were marked as inactive until last night. So please give it a try again. And if you still have problems, you can write to staff@bookweb.org.
And Geetha, I think those two products specifically are the ones that we created EANs for, which
yeah. Oh, okay.
we took the SKU from Edelweiss and just dropped a 0 in front of it. So taking that directly from Edelweiss, put a 0 in front of it, that should enable the product to populate and pull from the book data system.
Okay, do you want to just show what that difference in SKU is? You may have to make yourself the presenter.
Yeah. Let's do. Okay. So in this case, okay, let's go to edit. Go down. So they're here on my book list, but to demonstrate for the bodysuit, for example, I copied directly from Edelweiss, put a 0 in front of it. The 0 is a filler because the SKU was one number short of a typical ISBN. So doing that will allow it to populate. And at any time, you can also, if you want more control over these items in general, you can always create custom products for them too. So you don't necessarily have to use this method if you prefer not to.
I have a question. So these items, even the item, they all have SKUs or ISBNs for the POS systems. So if bookstores are giving them slightly different SKUs or ISBNs, how does that reconcile with, if they're scanning them live in store, if they're selling them both in store and online? Does that make sense?
It does. Geetha, you might be able to address that better than I could.
For example,
yes, it's not going to be the exact same thing because again, stores don't have to use the EANs that we created for those. Samantha, are you referring to those two items where we had to change it?
Yeah, or also the ways to make sunshine. That book has an ISBN, but the way that Courtney built it, she created a specialty with the IBD in front of the number. And
Yep.
so I'm just wondering, in store when a bookstore is using their scanner and scans that, what's going to happen?
Okay, it's not the perfect solution because most of the items, I think out of the 15, 13 of them or 12 of them were fine because we could just use what was with the ISBNs that are recognized by Ingram. So there we did not have a problem. The only restriction for us is if we need to add something into our database, that should be one of the ISBNs that Ingram recognizes because we are using Ingram's feed as what we compare it with. So if there is no match, then we create these custom SKUs. And it's up to the stores. They could take the SKU in their POS to match this custom SKU, or they don't have to do it that way at all. They can just promote it as like a product and not make it purchasable on the site. And they can just have customers call in like how they're doing it for IndieLite sites. If the difference in SKU is going to cause a confusion, then I think they should not promote it as a sellable item on the site, but just promote it and have the customers call them.
Okay, thank you.
And because it's only for limited number of items and the stock is limited too, we thought this would be, the idea behind this is to just make it easy for stores to have these items on their website without having to add the title, the image, and the description and everything. It just gives them a quick way of getting the metadata on their site.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
There are a couple of things about the blocks. Okay, there's a question about whether the block has to be at the bottom of the homepage. No, that is just an example that Courtney had showed. It could be even a small block with just the image with the where that can be placed on the site. That was just one example of being on the homepage. Again, is there a way to allow text to coexist next to an image? Yes, you can do that. When you upload an image, you can align the image left or right, and then the text will wrap around it. The way Courtney had set up, it was the image and the text was below, but you can have the text wrap around the image when you upload the image. Is there a way to put a quantity for a particular item so that once we sell through an item, it shows as sold out and can't be added to the cart? Yes, Dave, okay. So yes, you can upload your LSI file with these ISBNs in it. Again, it'll work for the regular ISBNs and not the custom products. You can upload the LSI file with the regular items and it will show as in stock on your site. And you will have to upload, like, if this sale is for August 29th, I think it would work best if you upload a file on August 28th night. So on August 29th, it shows up as in stock and you can show the number of quantities you have. And at the end of August 29th, or early the next day, you can just adjust the LSI price. And also on IndieCommerce site, because these are only for limited titles, on the product page, you have a link on top. Courtney, can you show that page on a product page where they can adjust the LSI quantities?
Yep. So let me just pick this one. So I uploaded an LSI file yesterday. So under LSI editing.
So right now it says 10 on hand on the product page. Let's say during the day as you sell online and you don't have the time to upload new LSI files, as a quick fix, you can go in here and then change the quantity.
So I'm just going to drop it down to 0 as an extreme example. And that.
And the in stock goes away and then it defaults to ships in 1 to 5 days. That is, again, it's up to you. If you want to, like, let's say you still want to take orders for this and then send them out later. I'm not sure if that is even possible. Samantha, can they still accept orders for more than what they have in stock?
No, they can't, because
They
everything,
cannot. Okay.
there's no
Okay.
reprints or anything. So what there is what there is.
Okay.
Of course, if we do a trading system after, if stores want more of an item or want to get rid of an item, they can trade back and forth. They have to arrange it among themselves. So if you were, if Poems of Resistance was selling like crazy in your store and you were like, we need 10 more copies, you most likely would be able to get those from another store after the fact, and then you could put them back for sale online. But there's no guarantee of, reorders or anything.
And Geetha, let's say a store runs out of a product like this particular example. Can they add this to a not for sale file?
Yes,
and then
they can.
take away that button?
Yep. Okay. That's the other option. If you don't want the product to be listed as available in 1 to 5 business days, or what the ships in 1 to 5 days, you can upload a not for sale file. And that will completely remove that item from being purchasable on the site. And again, this is not we are not saying that this is a very clean solution. It is just like our goal behind this was to make the metadata available for stores to quickly add to their website. That was the idea behind this. There is a question about the not for sale. We will send that instruction. So Courtney, do you have a sample of a not for sale file?
I do actually. So.
Okay, I think there is another webinar that is starting right now. Yes, that is at 2 o'clock. So we are going to close this now. There are a few questions that we could not get to at this time, and we will compile the answers for it. And if these questions are for Samantha, we will make sure Samantha gets those questions so she can address it too. And we will have a follow-up email. There will be the webinar was recorded, so there will be a link to the recording and the PDF document that Courtney had created for the steps. All that will be included, and we will probably make it available in the next Indie communication and also maybe in Allison's next update that goes out. Samantha, do you have anything else to add before we close?
No, just that make sure you're getting our newsletter, because those are going out more often now with all of this information in them. Again, I will put the link to our events on our website right now.
Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone. For Samantha, for the IndieCommerce team, on behalf of everyone, thank you everyone for joining this webinar. Have a good rest of the day.